Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Noel Zone. This is Friday night. I hope you're all doing very well, and we're going to be talking about RTD and Doctor Who. Now, sent me email to me co-host, so we will wait for him to get in here. But let's start off with the pathetic, I would say, pathetic attempt from RTD stands to try make the Goblin song. For anybody that doesn't know, there will be a song that will feature in this year's Christmas special about eating babies. And there's been a bit of a campaign, let's just say, from all of the RTD stands and people to try get the song to number one for Christmas. But it looks like they failed absolutely miserably, and rightly so. Let me just say, the number one should be a Christmas song. Yeah, that's the way it's always been in the UK and Ireland. Christmas song number one, right? I'm sick of all of these X Factors, pop idol songs when they used to be number one. I just want a fucking Christmas bloody song to be Christmas number one. Simple as that. Artists don't even make an effort anymore. But anyway, their pathetic attempts to try get this to number one have failed spectacularly because in the iTunes charts, the last that was checked, we got a screenshot here that I'm looking at. It's 99 pence, 99 pence on iTunes, and it's reached number 72. It's down 14 places from 58. So their attempt to get Murray Gold's song to Christmas number one has absolutely failed. And let's bring PD Rich on because he's probably having a bit of a chuckle about that, and rightly so. So let's see.
Yes, I certainly have. Certainly am chuckling about this one. Jesus Christ, why do I think it's going to reach number one?
I know.
It's only in the charts for 10 minutes. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it was never going to get to number one anyway because it's a horrible song anyway.
Oh, it's awful. The lead singer's got a massive lisp. You can hear the lisping in it. It's like, oh my God.
So, yeah, I mean, look, it's another sad, pathetic attempt from the other side to kind of silence the people that have had an issue with the song. And I'm sick of this attitude. Well, you have an issue with the song, you really need to get a life. Listen, I never even when I was growing up, they had similar songs about eating kids and stuff like that. No, I'm not into that sort of shit. Maybe you guys are now, but I'm not. I never was. Even as a kid watching these things, I was like, do they really want to eat me? Like, sort of thing. No, man. This is wrong on every level, right? But, of course, we got the other side who will defend this. But RTD has been doing a lot of media now. It's quite startling, actually. And Disney have openly admitted, and articles out there, that they didn't pump money into the 60th anniversary.
Yeah.
Right? It was all their cards are on Ncuti Gatwa and his era with Disney, right? Which is fair enough, I suppose. Doctor Who going on Disney, you know what I mean? This is why, you know, they've kind of rebranded the show, you know. So you kind of do get it, but the thing about it is you're gonna lose all your fans, and then he comes out with this. Right, so I'll do that now in a minute. I'm not installing it in the middle of a fucking stream, you assholes. Where is it? Someone sent this earlier on. How far? Where is it now? Where is it? Where did I see this now? Right, so he was on a podcast. He was doing a podcast, and I have a screenshot. Where is the fucking screenshot? Oh yeah, here it is. He said a couple of things. So firstly, I'll tell you what he said here. Russell T Davies Yasmin Finney and Jinx Monsoon make the whole world of Doctor Who richer. Whenever I make on television, whatever I make on television, I try to embrace the queerness and the queer politics.
God, here
The
we go again.
showrunner told Rolling Stone magazine. And he went on to say that Doctor Who would become more radical in promoting these themes. So it is clear, it is absolutely clear, without a shadow of a doubt, that politics in this particular era of RTD's era, because we knew he was progressive the last time, but this looks like it's just going to be over the top. Absolutely just over the top politics.
Yeah. He's out of touch. That's his problem. He's so out of touch.
I mean, we're getting to the stage now where he's openly admitting and embracing the fact that this show is going to become more radical. It's like he's just deliberately come out and he has no problem. So I think he's doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
I really do now at this stage.
To me, it looks like no. It looks like it's like his Doctor Who's his toys now. It's his toy box, and he's just doing whatever he wants with the toys. He's pulling their heads off. He's doing what he wants, throwing them around. He's setting them on fire. He doesn't care. It's just his personal toy box. It's been very vindictive about the whole thing.
He said this. It's sitting there, the heart of the family, viewing in prime time, BBC One. This is a radical show. A direct quote from the Rolling Stone podcast there. That's from RTD's own mouth right there. It's sitting there, the heart of the family, viewing in prime time, BBC One. This is a radical show. So he's telling you right there
Not prime time.
That it's, well, it used to be
family time now. It's
but
5:45.
But that's why he's shown it at that time. Because he knows families would sit down normally and watch the TV, but they're not going to tune in for this garbage.
No. They're going to treat it like it's propaganda and just walk away from it. There's a very fine line though between propaganda and getting your point across.
Yeah.
And this is propaganda now. It's gone too far. As I was saying about Sadako released a video, and I actually agree with him. If they had just kept it in the Star Beast to just the bit with the Jason bit and the bit with Donna talking about Sylvia and never mentioned anything about transitioning or trans again, would have been fine. It would have built the character. But it was this constant trans, binary, non-binary stuff throughout that whole episode that killed it.
That's what I mean. That's what we even said in our review when we did it. Do you remember? We said we have no problem that they addressed certain things in it because obviously we knew that was going to happen. But and it did help build the character as well. But being trans wasn't all what Rose was all about, though. Yeah. But that's what he focused on. And again,
and in the end, it made it look like the Doctor caused Rose to transition. It was awful.
Unbelievable.
It's like, RTD, what are you doing?
But be under no illusion, folks, right? It is clear what RTD's agenda is going to be with Doctor Who. Now, we all thought Chris Chibnall was bad. Well, as I said, you want to fasten your seatbelts now because we are really, really, really heading into unknown territory now. How far is RTD willing to go to get his message across? And from what we've seen from the Star Beast, if that's just the starter, well then this show is in serious trouble. And unfortunately, though, it's definitely got 3 seasons on Disney Plus anyway.
Yeah.
So for anybody that thinks it's going away, listen, the ratings on BBC might plummet, and they might have to, concede there and put it straight onto BBC iPlayer. But the thing about it is, with this Disney deal and the money, it's guaranteed to be on screen at least for 3 years. So it doesn't matter how bad this gets the next season, the Christmas special, and then the season that comes next. It doesn't matter how bad it gets because there's still going to be another season with Shooty anyway. I don't think it's been decided whether he's doing another season or he's keeping tight-lipped anyway. With Russell, more than likely what he'll do is if Shooty does decide to leave, he'll probably get him to regenerate a Christmas episode, like, you know, repeating what he did first time round. But look at this, is because someone on Twitter was saying it to me, like, you know, this is a shit show and all of this. R.I.P. Doctor Who. And it's true, it is rest in peace, Doctor Who. But the thing about it is, it's not resting in peace, though. It's still out there, and it's still going to be flogged for another 2-3 years. Like, so, you know, as Doctor Who fans, can you imagine what it's like? You know, Star Wars fans have had it bad, but I've always believed we've had it worse because, you know, they've tried to change a singular character completely and the origins of the character, right? Now they're doing what they did with Star Wars now. We're going to get this show dragged through the mud. And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, then they're going to start churning out spin-off after spin-off after spin-off after spin-off, hoping one of them reaches the audience. And that's what Disney do with all these shows, right? They throw them all out, hope that one, like The Mandalorian, the 4th season of Mandalorian, we were all surprised, right? Everybody was slating this thing before it even come out, right? Remember, we were all doing it. We're saying, no, they fucked up it's Star Wars. Forget about it. It's too late. They've burnt our bridges. And then the 4th season turned out to be great, and everybody was like, yay, we got a little bit of Star Wars back. And then what did they do then? They sacked Gina Carano, and then it goes, and it's not just the Gina Carano, but then after that, then you seen what they did with every Star Wars thing that they touched, they ruined. The only decent Disney Star Wars is still Rogue One, and I'll still say it to this day. It's the only decent thing that Disney have ever done that's got to do with Star Wars, and it was even a thing that we didn't even need. We didn't even need Rogue One, but I'm glad we got it. It's a good fucking movie. People, I'm telling you, it's a pity it has the Disney name fucking on it. Because if it didn't, and I do know that a lot of Star Wars fans do hold that movie into high regard. They haven't discounted that like they've discounted the other movies, and rightly so, because I do think that Rogue One's a cracking movie. It does have its problems, of course. You know, there are a few stupid things in it, but overall, that movie was well made, and people behind it knew exactly what they were fucking doing. This is what I can't understand. But Doctor Who, back to Doctor Who, guys. RTD, message is clear. This show is going to be more progressive than his previous era.
Yeah.
It's going to tackle more issues that are close to his heart, Shooty's heart, and whoever bloody activists he gets in to guest star on the show. Unfortunately, as I said, we've now got to sit by and watch this. We hope that if he sees how bad it's gone or it goes, he might, because he's filming season 2 now. Be interested to see if the reaction of Dabrowski and some of the other stuff he's done have made him rethink stuff that he's done in season 2. But you see, that's, again, Chids was the same thing. He tried to address things in season 2 and bring the show more back to what we knew it as. But he still couldn't help himself with the shit writing.
Yeah. Absolutely baffling season 3 as well. Like, what the hell is going on?
And he says that Jinx Monsoon and Yasmin Finney make the Doctor Who world richer. Why is that? Well, because they're trans and they're drag.
It's like, Russell, you're so 10 years ago, mate. Just give it a rest. That's my attitude to Rusty Davis at the moment. It's like so 10 years ago, you know?
In fairness, nobody would have a problem with Yasmin Finney if Yasmin Finney had got more to do in the Star Beast and wasn't a bit part, and then the diet wasn't given much to do, so we can't really judge. I know some people have said that they didn't like Yasmin Finney's performance and it was absolutely rubbish. I think that's a little bit unfair and harsh. How can you judge How can you? Yeah, but how can you really judge when she's only being given the dialogue that they were given?
Yeah.
Think about it. Go back and look at the dialogue
Might be a
again.
Star Wars fiasco.
Right? It wasn't great dialogue, and I mean, you know, I don't. I just. But again, I'll just say this. Right? It boils down to this. If you're going to, and we've always said this on the channel, if you're going to start bringing in actors and actresses based on their sexuality or their skin color or 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 what they identify as, right, then you're in serious trouble. You need to be casting, as we've always said. It's as simple as this. The industry works best when you have the best people working in the industry. So you should always employ the best people for the job. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Now, it remains to be seen. As you know, I'm actually okay with Shooty's casting, but it remains to be seen if RTD can do him justice and Shooty himself can do himself justice. For what I've seen on screen of him so far, I wasn't annoyed. I wasn't angry or upset. I will say, if he is going to play a camp, I don't want him to play a camp, but that could be a direction by RTD. But he'd agree to do it anyway. But that's the thing.
But it's about the costume as well. I mean, Shooty had a good idea for a costume. What he wanted something like a kind of a 1930s outdoorsman costume, kind of like a what you might call it, like a wealthy landowner's costume.
Yeah.
But RTD said, no, I'm going to put you in what I put you in. And it's like he had no choice. So I think he's just getting led around by RTD, frankly. I think RTD it's kids.
I don't like Shooty's costume. Listen, his trousers are similar to Jodie Whittaker's.
Yeah.
You just have to look at them. They're very similar. That's
he's wearing women's clothes. That's what
so he's given him a leather jacket like he gave Christopher Eccleston a leather jacket. This look. So far, from what RTD has given us, this is what it seems like we're getting off him. We're getting hints of nostalgia.
That's it.
Or old works reworked, just like what Chibs did in his era, where he reworked certain stories, right? And it's nostalgia bait. Because even watching certain episodes at 6, you were saying, "Oh yeah, Jesus, it has," and even the music that Murray has been doing as well has been incorporating some of the old themes, and then he's been up there. I've actually liked his music, to be quite honest with you. I don't actually have a problem with Murray Gold's music. I think it is. Look, I think for the 60th, he had a special brief. Give us something new, but while incorporating the themes of season 4, which was Donna and Tennant's run. And I think he did that very well. There was hints of Fires of Pompeii, which I thought were deadly, man. I think it was well done. But the thing about it is he can't do that for Shooties now. So he has to give us something completely brand new. Can he pull it off, PD? Well, he's had time away. Let's see. I mean, at first, when the theme tune came out, I thought it was fucking awful. And then I saw it along with the TARDIS and the whole sequence together. And I bloody love it. It's probably up there now as my favourite. Got to be honest, I fucking love it. I even love that. I even love the fucking the new fucking theme now going through it, and the new time vortex. I love everything about it. There's little clues and hints in that, by the way, in that opening that people haven't have overlooked. Because something still big is coming, by the way. Just because we got the 60th out of the way, guys. See, this is what Doctor Who fans, all the Doctor Who fans that were worried and all that, and some of them came out and said, "Oh, we're grand. It wasn't as bad as we thought." Yeah, that was the 60th. Like, you see what happens when Shooty's first fucking season happens.
Especially the Christmas again.
One. Yeah, it's going to change again. So I don't know what you are talking about. And he's even said it now. Listen, he hasn't directly come out and said these words like Kurtzman did. I'm using Star Trek as a platform. That's what it should be used for, right? That's what Kurtzman said, or something to that effect, right? RTD has kind of said it in a roundabout way, but he has said that this show is going to be radical, right? So he's basically telling you that Doctor Who is going to be used as a platform, right, for all of his belief systems, right? And the thing about it is, I have no problem with that if he was to show the other side of the argument and give that just as much as airtime as the side that he wanted. But again, I have a problem with it because it shouldn't be in a sci-fi fucking show.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't sex education. This isn't fucking Queer as Folk. Right?
Exactly.
This isn't fucking It's a Sin or Years and Years in Space. Right? It's Doctor fucking Who, a family fucking program.
Yeah.
Right? So if you want to educate people on fucking transgenderism, right, and all of that other stuff, well then do it fucking somewhere else.
Yeah. It's not the place. If you're going to do it, you've got to be subtle. So you've got to do what, what's his name did? Oh, God, Terry Matalis did. And if it's a subtle thing at the end of the series.
Listen, I'll just go on and want to say one more thing, by the way. He said about Jinx Monsoon enriching the Doctor Who universe. Well, the first introduction to Jinx Monsoon was on Twitter, where Jinx Monsoon put up a podcast talking about their sex life and how someone left a condom inside them. So enrich the Doctor Who fandom, all right, and Doctor Who, absolutely disgusting. You keep that shit to yourself, right? I'm not saying the act is disgusting. Everybody fucking has sex. Right, nobody's fucking scared of sex.
At least
but you keep that away from fucking children. Right, nobody needs to be listening to that podcast.
You wouldn't get that from Tom Baker, would you? Now, thinking about it, you would never get that kind of thing from Tom Baker.
What universe? God. Get the fucking boat and right, me arse. Right, Jinx Monsoon, the one that signed the letter that said that Jinx Monsoon knew better than fucking mothers and fathers out there when it came to trans issues and the gender cult. Go and screw off, you. Enriching the Doctor Who universe, me ass.
No.
Pardon the pun.
Do you think we're going to get something about in the second season about all the new laws, all the new guidance in schools going all against it? Because Russell T Davies has to go against it because
I don't know. If Georgia Tennant has her way, she'd be fucking certainly writing to RTD to make sure he fucking highlights it.
God, yeah, her and her mother, yeah. Poor old Pete Davidson.
I'm telling you now, man. I'm telling you now. She is pure evil. I'll say I don't care, right? She's pure evil. Any mother out there or father out there that puts their children in direct danger like that deserves to be locked up, right? I don't care. I'm saying it. It's the truth, right? It's the truth. I'm sick of hearing that trans teens, trans kids. Don't be giving me that bollocks. As I said, you're 18, you're big and bold enough to make those decisions for yourself. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Leave the fucking kids out of it. Kids grow up confused. We all do. Right? About everything. Okay? Because we don't understand the world fully because our brains are still fucking developing. You bloody morons.
Yeah.
Right? I retweeted her. I have no problem calling her out, and I'll continue to call her out and everybody else. Right? Yous are disgusting, vile human beings. What yous are doing to yous are kids. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves, every single one of yous. And now RTD now is going to fucking hammer this ideology now over the next couple of years, right, in front of kids, right? Now, Garrett Roberts, who wrote for Doctor Who, has wrote an article, right, for The Spectator, I think it is.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
And he says, keep your kids away from Doctor Who, and he's absolutely fucking right. And if you have any morals, and you have any fucking self-respect, and you want to do everything to protect your kids, keep them away from this show. Leave it to the likes of us to review the shit out of it and tell you what's going on with this show. But Doctor Who is no longer for kids. It's no longer a family fucking TV show. It's a propaganda piece that's going to be rammed down your throat week in, week out.
Really, it's Marvel Doctor Who now.
So, be a responsible parent and do the right fucking thing and watch something. Now, watch something wholesome at Christmas. Instead of watching the Christmas special, maybe do what I did, right? I watched Santa Claus the movie the other day, not the Tim Allen one, because anytime I say Santa Claus the movie, everybody goes, Tim Allen? No, the original Santa Claus the fucking movie with Dudley Moore, right? The proper one, the decent one, right? That's what I watched, right? I still watch it to this day. I remember being mesmerized by that movie as a kid, and still to this day, I watch that. That's my favorite Christmas movie that I watch. And I recently watched it along with A Christmas Carol because that's my other favourite. Right? A Patrick Stewart version, of course. I do like the other versions of A Christmas Carol, but for some weird reason, I do gravitate more towards the Patrick Stewart one. Right? But watch something wholesome Christmas Day. Right? Don't subject your kids to this rubbish. Right? And the feminists will be all over this anyway, Christmas, because the topic is eating babies, and we know what all the feminists like to do with babies nowadays, don't we, folks? Yeah. Right? We can't say it on YouTube, but we know what the feminists want to do. My baby 9 times.
Yeah, treating that as contraception when it's not. Yeah.
Exactly. You're with me on that one. I'm not saying we should rule it out completely. There are certain cases where it's applicable and where it's necessary, but this modern age where everybody just wants it on tap, I'm sorry, yous are sick fucks. We're living in a sick world, right? And yous all are sick, right? Yous have no moral compass, right? People out there supporting fucking terrorists.
Yeah,
right?
We're living in a moral world at the moment. The Western world has gone so immoral, it's unbelievable. No, that's the problem.
Right.
That's why we're with the Christians and all that, because it's like
never thought I'd see the day. And now, even in Ireland now, very big Catholic country, as you know, not as Catholic as it used to be because of the scandals with the church, but Catholic country anyway, right? And now they're afraid to say Christmas. Oh, we're not allowed to say Christmas anymore now. Oh, no, it's winter lights or festive lights. You can't say Christmas anymore because it'll offend the people that our government have decided to take in. They talk about inclusion and tolerance. Well, then where's the tolerance for our fucking traditions?
Exactly.
Right, and our beliefs. Okay, you all talk the same game, RTD, Georgia. Well, where's the tolerance for our opinions and our beliefs, you fucking morons? You have no tolerance. Because it's either your way or the fucking highway. I will say Christmas. It's always Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, whatever you want to fucking call it, right? I will never just call it fucking festive fucking time. Fuck off. Bunch of morons.
It's like I said to my newsagent friend the other day. I said, I wish you a happy Christmas, but I have a feeling you're more of a Diwali man. He actually laughed.
In fairness, man, right? Right,
wish me a happy Christmas.
It's only in the last year that I've kind of started to regain me faith again.
Yeah.
But Christmas, I always have held Christmas a special place in my heart. Even though I know Jesus actually wasn't born on the 25th of December, because I actually am educated. I know that he was actually born around July or June, but they moved it. They moved his date of birth to coincide with the winter solstice. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I knew all of that. But it was the time, Christmas is a special time. Jesus was born, blah, blah, blah. We celebrate at Christmas. His birthday's late, but we still celebrate it. Right? And it's a special time. Whether you believe he was holy, divine, or whether you believe he is the Son of God, it doesn't make a difference to me. Right? Bottom line is, Jesus was a human inspiration, and he tried to bring people together. And look what happened to him. He got nailed to a cross for it. Because back then they were fucking idiots and bigots too. And anybody that had an opposing view was fucking cancelled.
Yeah, Jesus got cancelled. QED.
Seriously.
Much, it's like, well, we got a name for them now, so there we go.
But seriously, I do love Christmas, and I love the message. And it is a message of
Yeah,
coming
it's the
together.
spirit of
And that's
Christmas.
what fucking annoys me. All these other people come into our countries and then tell us they're offended by it, destroying cribs, burning down fucking churches. Now, the burning of churches hasn't happened here, but there has been over the years. St. James's Hospital, which is the big major hospital. It's the biggest hospital in Europe, by the way. They always used to have a crib there. But then over the last few years, the crib was getting damaged, so that I think they stopped doing the fucking crib now. But I used to love that, man. Even now, right, the GPO, they have a crib, and there was complaints about that. And I'm like, get fucked, right? It's our religion. All right, you want us to be tolerant of you guys.
In your country. It's your state religion, for God's sake, yeah.
Right? I don't care. The Irish people have a fractured relationship with the fucking Catholic Church now. I'm not going to sit here and lie, right? But Christmas, the message of Christmas, right? We all inspire to that. Families coming together, being nice to each other, right? Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's all gone to pot. Why do you think it has? No, generally, because I think there's no respect anymore. I think respect's gone, and it's just
respect is gone. You're right. Do you know what, PD? That's the biggest one. I see the youth. I even see the youth today.
Yeah.
And the disrespect they show to not even my generation, because we could take it. But when I see they go after old age pensioners and the way they treat them and the horrible things that they say to them, it boils me blood, because there's no way that our generation would disrespect an old age pensioner. No. It wouldn't happen. Listen, right? There's many a time, I'm not trying to make, but this goes for any Irish person. They see an old age pensioner struggling, right, with anything, they will offer to fucking help. Now, some of them will just tell you, you know, but others are genuine. You know what I mean? It's instilled into us. Show respect, because these people help, you know, made this country a better place for you, or so they fucking thought. So they fucking thought. They did make it a better place for us, but then we let the lunatics out of the asylum and take over.
Yeah.
Right? And here's a laugh for you today. So the head of the asylum seeker agency over here has decided, a judge has granted them permission to take legal action against the Irish government, because there's going to be migrants that have come over here homeless over the Christmas. Yeah. Ever since I was born in 1979, there's been homeless people in the streets over Christmas ever since the day I was born. It's been the same issue that we've had in this country for decades. But yeah, these so-called Irish people are more concerned about people who came over here, 62% of them, by the way, unvetted. Yet we're not allowed to talk about that, even though the government themselves have admitted that 62% of them have come over are unvetted. And guess what the response was of the Justice Minister when she was asked about this? Well, I do believe that some will go to the appropriate places to let us know that they're in the country. You fucking moron.
No, they won't.
So, because here's the thing, 62% of that figure, and I'm being kind here, 62% of that figure, there's a percentage that are criminals.
Exactly.
Right? Rapists, murderers, the usual. Right? They've been thrown out of one country, rip up their passports, and then come here. Right?
Yeah.
So, and then when we bring that up, oh no, you can't talk about that. Oh no, what, we're bringing in hate speech laws. Oh, fuck up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So,
and in 10 years' time, when they're taking over the country, these people are going, "Oh, we were wrong. We were so wrong," won't they? As usual.
Yeah, well, right now I'm talking to a few people behind the scenes, because if anybody hasn't seen me tweet, I might as well tell you, it's because things might change here in the long run.
It's changing in Europe, mate.
I think
it will.
And I think that you have a right to know. So, I've been asked to consider running in the local elections by some people. Now, if I do, of course, you know what that means. I won't be able to do this as often as I would like, because a public figure then, you know, can't be seen doing stuff. Now, I haven't, look, I'm assessing the options. There are options. If any of them are viable, I might consider it. But it's something I'm seriously thinking about. Because we need change here.
I think we all need change.
And I don't think the people, this is what I said, you know, people need to get up off their art. It's not just about getting out there. If some people are smart and intelligent enough, should get out there and maybe run. You know, look, is there a chance of me winning? Absolutely, probably not. But
you got to try.
If I can get in there and ruin it for one of the big parties by taking some of their votes, that's job done. But I really do believe, and I've got to make this clear, by the way, though, I really do believe that if I did do this, that I would do right by the people, and I would try my best. Because someone says to me on Twitter, which I thought was really lovely comment, said, look at, no, we're not looking for perfect. We're just looking for someone that will work hard. And I think you guys know that I'd give it me all, like I have for this. So I'm considering it. The one thing that's kind of stopping me is the fact that obviously it'd be my first time entering the world of politics.
Very sleazy place, mate.
And it's, let me be blunt here. I wouldn't want to let anybody down by being incompetent, but then I look at the people that are already in there.
They already are.
And they're already as bad. And I think I've got better ideas than them to get this country going, along with all the other people. Like, we're not saying we know best, but we certainly have an idea of how to make this a better place for Irish people and future generations that are born here, you know, to feel secure in their own country. So I'm waiting to hear back from a few people. And as soon as I see what the options, obviously there's a few hurdles in the way. Obviously, once I announce, then I need to get a certain amount of votes. I have to get the votes first and then announce, and then obviously then it's going to be funding. To get me campaign going.
Kickstart, mate.
But then I'll have to do all of that. I can't play around it if I want to fucking do
Constantine and Francis say to you,
I've already had, look, when I put the tweet up, I got a lot of support.
Yeah.
So I do know that I'll have some support. So if I can get enough support, and if it's worth going for, then I have to, and you know I have to, you know, I can't just sit on my arse and not do that. And, you know, if I can make a difference out there proper, you know, I don't think any of you would be disappointed anyway.
No.
I think a lot of you would still follow me anyway, because I'd probably end up just, you know, having a little podcast on YouTube anyway, where you could still all talk to me anyway, but it'll be politics, unfortunately.
Probably on Rumble. But...
yeah, but look, I'll let you know, I haven't made any decision, because obviously I love this and love what I do, but at the same time, I don't want to see my country go down the same route as some other countries. No. And, you know, I think everybody needs to do so. Listen, if you're, as I said, if you're confident enough, the only thing that's holding me back is I don't want to embarrass people. That's it. I don't really give a feck about me, you know that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to let people down. That'd be my biggest fear here.
Hey, Tim. Hey, Bobby.
So that's why I have to, I'm, as I said, I'm talking to different people that have entered that arena recently, and I'm getting advice off them, and they're going to tell me what my options are and which way I can go and what I have to do. And if it's viable, as I said, I'm going to go for it. So you could be looking at a future Dublin councillor.
Yeah. Mate, we get these calls in life. We get these
I
calls in
know.
life.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But do you know what? I've always threatened. Say, I've always wanted that. I've always wanted to do something in politics.
Yeah.
It's just the thing about it is, I'm gonna be honest. I put myself down quite a lot. My education wouldn't be up to the standards of these politicians.
Oh, fuck it, mate. None of their education's up to the standard.
I know it's not now. I know it's not now. Don't get me wrong. I know it's not now, but that's the thing. And the fact that I come from a working class area or a poor area as well, you know, there's a lot of snobbery in Ireland as well. It's not just in the UK. Like, you know, the way you have the class, we have snobbery here as well. I mean, I've seen some new candidates now announce, independent ones and ones that have joined the party that I know through the movement that I've been involved in. And as soon as they come out, then people are like, this dopey fucker, all this crap. Like, they don't have a hope in hell. They're going to land flat on their faces. But they don't realise that these people actually have support.
Yeah.
It's just the country is being afraid to open their mouth. But the turning point was that incident on the 23rd of November. Changed everything when the next day the Irish government focused on the rioters and the place being smashed up rather than the incident that had happened, the major incident that had happened in Dublin City outside the school.
They do it to cover it up. That's why they do that. That's why the media do that. They do it so they can kind of use another thing to distract you from what's actually happened. That's what they're doing.
Basic so let's see who.
Right?
I know that. Let's see who we've got in the chat anyway, PD, because I see you named a few people there. So we got Tim. So hey, Tim, nice to see you. And we got Rachel. We've got the old Scottish Stavros there and friends wrestle with pop culture. It's still a fucking mouthful, mate, but great name. We got the Bobby D 75 who's been dropping all of the stuff. Bobby was the one with the screenshot, I think, that informed me and others what RTD had said in that quote. He took a screenshot of the actual quote. So Bobby D is being dropping the bombs, just like Lee, problem being on Twitter. He's been calling out these ratings. And I'm telling you now, guys, so your guy, what's his name? Izzo, is that his name? Izzo, is it Izzo, whatever his fella, the fella that does the him. Right, so he's been saying, so this is what he's right. So this is what he said in response to Lee calling out the ratings. He says since 2008, they've been adding the +4 to the 7-day consolidated figures, right? Since 2008. And Lee was able to prove that that was a bullshit lie.
That is bullshit.
Right?
I think that we can
now listen,
7 days.
Now PD works well. PD is in the industry, right? PD knows how it works, but PD knows that when it comes to the ratings and stuff here, right? I'm a bit of an expert because that's what I immersed myself in when we were talking about the Whittaker era. We always spoke about the ratings, and we were able to kind of predict what each episode was going to get. We were actually pretty good at doing that, actually. So I have an idea how it works now. You know, before, when I first started, all I knew about was the overnights and the 7-day. I never knew about the +4, the A, all of that. When it's on iPlayer and all of that shit.
I got an article from the Broadcast magazine, which is the broadcast magazine for the UK. It says 7 days, not 11, 7.
So yeah. So he added an extra 4 days to the consolidated. So in reality, they're 11-day figures, folks. But this is why they're unreliable.
You can't rely on.
And this is why the 7 days have always been unreliable. They're trying to make it out that 7 days are roughly the guide of who's watching, but that's a false equivalent.
No, it's
because
now.
The thing about it is, and I'm not saying this to try to be bad, it happens with every single TV show, by the way, right? That's put on iPlayer and BBC, and it'd be the same with UTV, don't they have the ITV hub or whatever, right? You cannot judge programs after 7 days.
No,
because what tends to happen is that people will go in and check out 2, maybe 3 minutes of something, and then they'll switch to whatever. You can never tell how many are actually have watched that episode or those specials all the way through. This is why, right, we've always, and they've always said this, by the way, they've only tried to change the narrative since the Whittaker era, right? And the media went along with that narrative, right? The overnights are always the best judge of who's watching, right? Because that's who's watching live, right? They can count the live figures right there and then, right? So the overnights are the most important. The 7-day consolidated figure and beyond is not a true reflection of how many is actually tuned in to watch. And we also know with Disney, right? They have a ratings list, whatever it's called over there, and apparently Disney have been accused and have been brought to court, I think, as well, for fudging some of the ratings on some of these shows to make them, and even their movies. Captain Marvel, they made out that more people had went to watch that movie, but in reality, what was happening is Disney were buying up seats, right? And this is what they do. This is what they'll do with Doctor Who as well, right? They will use every tactic that's available to them, or every little advantage that they think that they have to fudge these figures. They're not the proper figures, right? The overnights are and always will be. So the guys that have been doing the ratings, the guys that we always depended on, by the way, and the guy that PD has brought up, has always been reliable. Even during the Whittaker era, he was the only one that was coming out with the proper figures. I don't know what's happened to him now, but he seems to be playing the game now because RTD is in charge. Whether it's a direct from Disney or it's from someone higher up. Look, we need to make this look better than what it fucking is. So these are all on board with the fucking game. I don't like it. I think it's fucking bang out of order, right? The bottom line is, if you want to get those fans back, if you want to win people over RTD, you must do what I always said from the very beginning, right? Because what I think you're trying to do is you're trying to pander to everybody, but everything that's come out now, it looks like you're only trying to pander to a certain minority in the fandom, right? While spreading the message that, no, you're going to pander to everybody. But that's the problem. That's the problem, right? I told you from the very beginning, in order for you to succeed, you shouldn't listen to us and you shouldn't listen to them. You should write the best version of Doctor Who that you possibly can, right? And that was it. And I also told you needed to keep your mouth shut, keep your politics to a minimum, right? And anybody that you brought in and cast needed to keep their mouth shut as well, right? None of that has transpired. None of that at all, right? And this is why the ratings are going to continue to go down, because you're just not listening. Just like governments out there all over the world not listening to their people, the writers in the industry are the same. And when you don't listen, when it goes wrong, you criticize us, right? And we're not putting up with it anymore, right? We're not going to be criticized for substandard writing and substandard character development. If you cannot get the basics right, you should not be running Doctor Who.
Exactly,
Simple as that. I am sick and tired of people coming in here and using Doctor Who as their own personal plaything, right? And forgetting about what fans actually want, right? It's a sci-fi show, a family sci-fi show. Keep your politics out of it. Keep your agendas out of it, right? If you can't do that, then you give a balanced fucking view of it all. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be writing Doctor Who. Go off and write something fucking political somewhere else, like you've always fucking done, right? But Doctor Who is a family sci-fi show. How fucking dare you tell families that now they're going to be indoctrinated? It's fucking absolutely disgusting. You should hang your head in shame. Destroying a franchise this fucking precious to a lot of fucking people, and for what? For brownie fucking points, for people in the historians to remember you kindly. They would have remembered you well anyway for the shit that you've done, right?
Hey,
all you needed to do was to come back and do us proud, but you couldn't even
do what you did in
do
season
that.
4, but you couldn't do it. Well, you used a
Holden is also here. Art with a pen is here as well. And I think Rachel
Yellow
Mullins
Flash said something,
also.
by the way, no. Flash said something. Apparently, Disney has been passing notes to Russell T Davis.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
So you know what's happening. You know where this is all coming from.
Yeah.
I'll tell you after the
Gemstones
stream as well.
videography is here as well. Welcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Archer Colin is in the chat as well. That used to be the other way around though, didn't it? Colin Archer.
Oh yeah, it's Cole. We just call him Cole.
Yeah.
He knows us. We know him.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I just got confused because the names are reversed now.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the bottom line, man. Chris says, no, don't forget Jodie's era. There were plenty of problems with the iPlayer. Yeah, there was, man. They tried to fudge those numbers as well. Listen, we know it would stop playing and you had to hit the refresh while it would start from the beginning again and count as a new view. Exactly. And they'll do that deliberately. And they'll do that again, by the way. They'll use that tactic again, right? But what should happen is, if anybody is watching it and happens to be on the iPlayer and that happens, take a little video as proof that it happens and post it up on social media. Because they need to be exposed for what they do. They really do. Because until they're exposed, because they've got the other side all brainwashed. They've got the media on their side. So this is the thing. We need to start doing what they did, right?
Yeah.
The radical left have been working over the years to infiltrate everything, right? That's what we need to do. We need to take back the asylum, right?
Yeah.
And in order to do that, we've got to do what they did, right? We've got to re-infiltrate, right? Take the fucking thing back over again, right? And start fucking spreading a positive message around the world. Nobody is excluded, by the way. I hate this narrative. Oh, everybody hates migrants. Everybody hates black people. Everybody hates people that are
people
trans.
are excluded for a reason,
Right? The bottom line is this, right? Is I would love a perfect utopian world. Unfortunately, that's not the reality, right? But I think we were working hard and striving towards it up until a point until the left took over. And as soon as they took over, everything went to shit, right? If the so-called right is as bad as they made it out to be, well, we did fucking all right all the way up until a certain point until the left took over, didn't we? And now look at all the shit. Look at the world now. Is it a happier, better place for everybody?
Oh no, it's like
certain groups out there moaning and crying about, it's not great for us. What about all of us? It's not great for all of us, right? Yeah, and slap that like button.
It seems to be the many versus the few, doesn't it, Noel? Really, I mean, the few versus the many. The whole thing about Star Trek 3, that line, many outweighs a few, and all that. It's like, look, the few outweighs the many only works on occasion. It doesn't work all the time. But we seem to be living in a world where it wants it to work all the time, where the few outweigh the many, and it's like it doesn't work like that. That's just not civics. That's why it was a big hoo-ha in Star Trek 3, the way they looked at it.
Look, we continue to go down this route.
Yeah.
We will be extinct within 4 years. And why do I say that? Because the dominoes will fall. The domino effect will happen. Other countries will start fighting with each other. And then if North Korea and China starts, if China goes into Taiwan, then North Korea decides then it's going to attack South Korea. Right?
Yeah, or Japan,
right? Dominoes fall, human race is gone. The pricks will survive because they all, listen, it's startling when the owner of Facebook, Zuckerberg, is building an underground bunker on one of these fucking islands, right? That should tell you everything you need. See, Zuckerberg, right, we all give Zuckerberg stick and all, and he is a bit of a rat, let's be honest, but he's also a very intelligent man. He's not building a bunker for no reason, right? People need to be paying more attention to what these people do. Listen to what, Bill Gates and all does be saying, right? All of these people, right, are planning a fucking head. And they've been doing it for a long, long fucking time. And it's just a shame that it's taken stuff in recent years for the rest of the world to wake up. I knew about this stuff 20, 30 years ago when I was a kid, 10 years of age, when I heard me first proper conspiracy theory about the New World Order. At 10 years of age, I'm captivated. And if people laugh off the New World Order, that's what they're going for. This is why the WEF is here as well. Listen to what they're saying. The World Economic Forum, right? Everything they're planning, right? Everything that they're doing goes by the principles of the one world government and the world order. That never went away. The New World Order never went away. All of the Illuminati stuff and all of that is to distract you. Right? Fuck the Illuminati stuff. The stuff you should be looking at is what these fuckers are saying. Right? Bill Gates has his hands on most of our food now. Right? He's doing mad shit to your food.
Yeah.
Right? He's saying that we have to genetically engineer cows now. We got the cows so they release less carbon.
Oh my God.
Right? He's saying fucking around with your cows, like. Fucking around with your livestock. And then you got the climate nuts saying, oh yeah, we got to reduce carbon. What they don't tell you is if we reduce it to the level that they want, plants, your crops start to die.
Yeah.
Disease runs rampant.
Yeah.
Everything they're doing is to depopulate so they can control the rest that are left. That was the plan. They need to get us down because they can't control us right now, no matter how much they try, right? They can't completely control us, and they know that. So they have to invent ways to get rid of us, right?
Yeah.
And everything that's been happening over the last few decades, right? September 11th was the day the world changed, they said.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But that was the day the world changed. Because that was the start. When that happened, that was it then. All the rest of the plans then, the future plans were laid. Because remember, there was a lot of paranoia. All of this is done through fear and paranoia. And during that main event, that horrible day, they were able to control you all. Every single fucking one of you. Right? They kept putting the terror alert up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, playing with our emotions. They worked on yous. They worked on yous so then they could do the future stuff with COVID and yous all complied. Everybody lining up to get the magic jab.
Oh, it won't work again, though.
Right? Everybody stayed at home. Now, I stayed at home. I will say I fell for the lockdown.
Yeah,
but I knew very quickly, like a lot of people, that was a crock of shit. Right? But I didn't fall for the fucking jab. I didn't let fear.
Yeah.
Right? Never got it. Fortunately, Cheryl did, but I can't. Again, I don't tell her what to do.
Yeah.
She's our own independent person. We might be married. And I respect her decision. It actually kind of, keeps me awake at night, though, sometimes, thinking about it. Because if that hadn't happened to her, I'd be devastated, like. Because I see all the shit that's happened. She doesn't believe that. But as I said, see, this is the thing. Everybody gives out to me and, no, it's a right wing, blah, 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 blah. But my wife is lefty, right? And yes, there are certain things that I believe that the left would say is right wing. But I don't consider myself right wing. But if my wife a lefty, and I mean a staunch lefty, can tolerate me and live with me and marry me, then I mustn't be that bad of a person.
No.
Right? She doesn't agree with me on a lot of stuff. She's made that clear on here as well. She doesn't interfere. Right? Do you think she likes me going to these protests? No, she'd rather I was at home. Safe. like I put her through the mill the last one because the riot. I was there, and she was absolutely panic attack and everything. Right, but even though she didn't want me to go, I said, "Look, my mind is made up. I'm going in." She mightn't have liked it, but when I came home, she was just delighted to fucking see me that was home and safe. That's a good woman. That's a good wife. She doesn't try to change my opinions, and I don't try to change hers. We do have our. I'm going to be honest though.
Yeah.
There's certain topics we won't talk about in this apartment because if we do, it kind of gets heated because we're both very strong with our convictions on certain topics. So we just don't talk about them, and that's how we navigate through. So if we're able to do it, two married people from opposite sides of the, what you would say, the political and social divide, everybody else can. But this is what I'm talking about. They talk about tolerance and inclusion.
And they're the
But
most
when it comes
intolerant
to,
people
but
go.
exactly,
Yeah.
when it comes to your opinions and your beliefs, but my wife is not like that. We just don't talk about them because we don't want to be getting into arguments over something stupid. Because there's more important things for me and Cheryl to be worrying about than what else is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, sure, come here. I made a joke on this channel, Colin, I think 3 years ago. I'm gonna try find the stream if I can, right? But I remember joking because all of the Just Dial, the climate thing, Greta Thunberg she was everywhere at that stage few years back, and you had the whole "How dare you" thing, and all, right. But I actually said on here on this channel, and I hope people will remember this that are still here, right? Because I remember joking about this. I says, imagine they start charging us for the air that we breathe.
Yeah.
Right? And I said that as a joke. And then recently I saw that article, right, that was talking about that we were the problem. We were adding to climate change, and that we were responsible because of our breeding. It wasn't because of what we were doing now. It was because of our breeding. And then I remember saying that, and I start laughing because I'm telling you now, you can laugh all you want, but that's the future. You're going to be charged for the air that you breathe, and you're going to be made work for it as well. And if you don't, remember that? What was that? There was oxygen. That wasn't that Doctor Who. That's exactly what it'll be like.
Yeah, Widget the World Watcher had an episode about that as well.
That's what we're heading to. And Stephen Moffat warned us all.
Yep.
Right.
Certainly did.
Right, because if you listen very carefully to what Stephen Moffat said in that interview when he was talking about Doctor Who, not being left, right, and all of that, right, that's very interesting because he was basically saying there, listen, these are not my politics in Doctor Who. I'm trying to push against this. I think we've judged Moffat himself too harshly. I do now with the politics side, right? But not the writing, because some of his writing was pretty bad, right? In some places, right? But I'm talking about the politics. I do believe that he was pushing back against it now. You listen to that quote. There's no way that's a quote from a man that's pushing the politics that were pushed when Clara was lecturing the doctor and all of that, and it became a feminist. I'm telling you now. Feminists were coming after him, and BBC saw that and said, look, we want you to do something to address this because it's harming the show. Right? And he said, right, this is what we need you to do, blah, 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 blah. And they fucking made him do that stuff. Because there's no way that a man that's making that comment goes and does the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Right? So
I personally think he was being pushed and shoved around since Series 8 by the DEI council committee or whatever at the BBC, and that's why he got a bit funny about the whole thing.
Because that episode, Oxygen, if you think about it,
intelligent. Good episode.
That's a great story, and they're the type of stories that Doctor Who fans want to be seeing because they're the ones that expose. Listen, we're not stupid. They've been certain creators out there will drop hints. They're privy, or they're just
That's
so
good
intelligent,
sci-fi. That's
or
also
they're
good
just
sci-fi.
but they're so intelligent that they can almost see the future, right? Because they see where things are going and they're able to predict certain outcomes, right? And that's what Moffat is actually very good at doing. I think we backed the wrong horse in RTD, to be quite honest with you. I think what we should have been doing is calling for Stephen Moffat to come back as well. Maybe if the two of them had been there, if the two studios, his studio and Bad Wolf, maybe combined and working together, maybe Moffat could have pushed back on some of the things that are, because that's what someone has said. Someone needs to be there to rein RTD in. When you do, that's when you get the best out of him. I think if he's left to his own devices, especially with Doctor Who, see, that's the thing. You could do It's a Sin, masterpiece. You could do Years and Years, masterpiece. You know, you could do all the previous shows that he did back then. Exactly. But look, I was grateful when he came back in 2005. He was progressive then. And I didn't have a problem with it because I thought he handled it beautifully.
Yeah.
I just don't believe he's going to do it this time round. I really don't. We're being charged for the air we breathe. It's called carbon tax. Well, I don't pay no carbon tax, and I hate to no pay no carbon tax, and you shouldn't be paying no carbon tax either, Chris. You should get out there as well, man. Right? Fuck carbon tax, right? We get taxed for everything now.
Yeah.
Right? Listen to this, right? You go to work, right? Your tax government take your tax out of that, right? Then on top of that, then you go and buy your food, right? And they add tax onto that, right? Then you have a car tax, right? Then the petrol added tax. We pay tax on fucking everything, right? They don't need any more money. Where's all their money going in every single fucking country? Where do our taxes actually go? Do you know what? Government should actually show receipts from now on. They should show receipts of where they're spending all of our fucking money.
Oh, exactly.
Right? We have a right to know where they spend their money. Right? I tell you where most of our money is going. It's either going to Gaza or fucking bleeding Ukraine now. That's where our money is going.
Yeah.
Right? It's not going to the people that it should go to. I'm not saying we shouldn't help people out. Ireland has always helped people out. But there comes a time in a fucking place where you go, hey, hang on for a minute now. We've got a certain amount of people homeless here that are native to this country. And do you not think it's a good idea that we tell these lads, look, we're kind of sorting their own crisis out. But when we get ourselves back up on our feet, we will happily contribute again. But no. It doesn't matter how poor we get here in this country or in Canada, right? I mean, Chris.
Charity begins at home, mate. Charity begins at
Ballstreck will show me, right? He will show me, I think he showed me his bill for his food 3 years ago or something. A bill of his food. Oh, no, it was a bill shopping from last year. And then his bill this year, right? And like there was a huge fucking difference. It gone up by double the price of what he was paying last year, right? We're the ones that get screwed over all the time, right? Sick of it. Get up off you. Everybody needs to get up off their arses now. Enough is enough. How much do you going to take? You know what I mean? If you work hard, you should get a proper fucking wage and you shouldn't be taxed through the fucking hilt. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be. Right? Everybody should pay their fair share.
Yeah.
Right? It's as simple as that. Because the country has to keep running. We do have to pay a certain amount of taxes to keep the country going. Right? I understand that. Right?
Yeah. The problem in this country, Noel, the problem in the UK is they use our tax money to fix issues that they keep making bigger and bigger. They don't fix the problem. They nip the problem in the bud from day one. We wouldn't have to waste so much money. But look at HS2. It's been waste of money. And now it just goes from just outside Euston to Birmingham International Airport. That was supposed to be a high-speed line from the north to the south. ridiculous.
So if this is true, because I haven't checked it, well, Zelensky purchased 2 yachts at the start of the month for a combined total of 75 million. Interesting. So nobody is going to question that, right? Nobody's going to question the fact that some Ukrainians that are living here are going home for Christmas and then are allowed to come back then after that. And everybody thinks that's okay. Right? So everybody thinks that a country that's at war or supposedly at war, their president has gone out to purchase 2 yachts for a staggering 75 million when they've been begging for money. And nobody's going to question that Zelensky spent 75 million on 2 yachts.
Takes a piss.
Listen, I'm going to tell you the truth, right? There is no war, right? All it is Russia has gone into certain places where neo-Nazism was on the rise and they want to quell it. And I absolutely agree, because there's nothing nice about a fucking Nazi. Okay?
Oh, no. Especially the one that's head of the World Economic Forum, isn't it, really?
And we've got plenty of them now in our society. You know, they support the people that voted in a bunch of fucking terrorists, and they're out in their streets every single day of the fucking week. Right? That's what Putin is fighting against. He's fighting against pure evil. He's backing the wrong fucking horse, right? Ukraine is being used for one thing and one thing only, and Zelensky is getting a lot of money for it. But yeah, no, you are all that stupid. Not you guys, but whoever is listening that doesn't believe this narrative. But you are all fucking stupid, right? You will literally believe anything the media and the government tell you. Okay, right? There's billions gone to fucking Ukraine. Billions gone to Ukraine. Yeah, okay. But Ukrainians can go home for Christmas, even though it's supposed to be a war zone. Oh, they go home for Christmas, but then they come back here then and freeload again.
Yeah,
right?
It's a bit weird.
And nobody question it. All the celebrities that went into a war zone or a country that's at war, nobody questions it. Right? Okay, you are backing the wrong horse. You are. Putin is trying to fight against the World Economic Forum. And everybody is going against them because of it. Right? He's not the enemy. Right? He's not the enemy. Why would Putin, after years of not really, trying to do the right thing by Russia, by trying to talk to world leaders, Russia always gets punished sanctions after this. And then he was able to get the country to a point where the sanctions didn't really hurt the country anymore.
Yeah.
Or the economy, right? So now they were just waiting for him. Listen, he warned Ukraine that they had a problem, and Ukraine wouldn't listen. Now, all the media, when Hillary Clinton as well was a senator, by the way, the media, and a lot of the senators in the US were saying that Ukraine had a problem with, obviously, I've already said it, so I might as well say it again, neo-Nazism. Right? This stream will be demonetized, by the way, because you're not allowed to say that on here, but I'm going to say it anyway, because it has to be said. Okay? So, they all went silent then and changed their tune, and then actually tried to say, oh no, it's Russia that's full of them. When the narrative was Ukraine. And you were right. It was Ukraine. Because if you look, and even if you look now, they've buried some of the articles, but you can find the old articles that are talking about this problem and how they were being funded. And that's why Putin wanted to put a stop to it, right? Because it was being funded by the West, as it always is. It's always the West. Okay?
Yeah.
Right? This is where all of our problems come from.
I mean, this is what I get about tax money, mate. That's what I get about tax money. The US Democrats go and start all this hoo-ha off before Zelensky even became president, with their puppet president doing all this hoo-ha and dodgy stuff and Hunter Biden stuff that's coming out. And then they go and just, oh, we'll funnel everybody's tax away. We'll fix it. We'll fix the issue. And we should have just kept out of it and then not sorted out the problem in the first bloody place.
And you know, now what's happening?
Yeah.
Now Ukraine all of a sudden now is getting EU membership, and you know,
I can see if they get EU membership.
Ukraine wants to be part of NATO. Obviously, Russia doesn't. You know, and then Russia, then on top of that, then Russia is dealing with the fact that the US and NATO have military bases all around the country, like the borders, and Russia is the enemy here. Russia is not the enemy. Russia is not the Russia of years ago, by the way. People still have this preconceived notion that Russia is still the USSR. It's not. It's not. It actually isn't. It's why a lot of Americans have moved to Russia, you know, in recent years. Some actors and stuff like that, they've moved to Russia. Right? They know what's going on. Right? Oliver Stone did a great thing with Vladimir Putin, and you should listen to all of his speeches. Seriously, you should listen to his speeches. He tells you what these people are trying to do to us. He's being ahead of the curve. He's actually trying to protect his people. He's the only fucking him and the Hungarian government. Obviously, they don't allow immigration and they close the borders, right? Yeah. But they're probably the only two world leaders right now. They're actually doing right by their people and want to protect their people.
Problem is, no, half the EU is waking up, so I think the EU is going to collapse in a few years' time. Personally, for about 5 to 10 years' time, I'd say, because everyone's waking up now.
Yeah, this is why they're speeding up their plans, though.
That's why,
and this is why it's dangerous now. That openly they used to hide in the shadows. They're not hiding in the shadows anymore. They're openly doing it in front of us now because they got to win this. So
they also know their time and power is coming to an end as well.
We're never going to leave Europe because their politicians are weak. That's why when we get them out, then we can make that. We can have that referendum, and if the people want us out of Europe, we're out. Simple. We're leaving. Simple as that. And then I think if Ireland do leave, because I do believe even though we are a small country, we are making a lot of money. It's just the corruption in this government. It's not going to the right people. But if we were to leave, UK leaving was damaging to the EU, but they survived. But if we had went with them as well, because there was another country as well that was thinking about it, and they were waiting on other countries to see would they also pull out, and a couple of countries did threaten, but they never went through with it.
France
if they had, I believe we'd be actually living in a different. We'd have a different 2022 and 2023. In fairness, because the European structures would be dismantled from every fucking country, and then we just go back to traditional trade. It's as simple as that, and cooperation through trade.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You don't have to be their friends. You just sort of tolerate each other. That's all you got to do through trade. Not this. We can't beat China, so we have to become like China nonsense from the West, which is what's caused all this problem.
Look. The big question that people have to ask themselves is this, right? All of these people that come to our countries say that they hate the West, right? And you see the despicable acts that we see. Now, listen, again, I won't say that all people that come from all countries are like that.
No, some people need it.
Because there are some genuine good eggs that come over here and over to the UK and work their fucking socks off. Right? And add, pay their taxes, but also contribute
as well.
Integrate and don't bitch and moan and try to impose their will on people. Right? They just live their lives out. They don't complain, and they're happy with what they've got.
Oh, my Italian barber,
But there are others that blame the West for all their problems. So ask yourselves the question: why are they all so desperate to come here? And why are most of them men ages between 22 and 25 years of age? because you're at war, folks, and you don't even
Yeah.
understand that it's already at your doorstep,
Yeah.
right?
They've already
If they hate
infiltrated.
us so much, why are they over here? Well, they're over here to do what they've done in France and Italy.
Yep.
And other countries that have stood up against this, and they're preparing, right? Whether you believe it or not, you are already at war in the UK. We're about to go to war here in Ireland. 2024 is going to be a big year. People don't realise what everything that's happened in other European countries, it's happening in our own countries now. And it's either time to stand up and be counted, or just roll over and, you know.
Even one of the princes of Saudi Arabia turned around and said, he says, you keep taking our trash, this is going to happen, you know?
Listen.
This
whole
paraphrasing.
Listen, I'm going to say, throughout history, we've tried. Well, we haven't, but the human race or certain individuals have tried both sides of the coin. Right? Hitler didn't believe in integration and stuff, and he did, and went what he did, the disgusting, vile pig.
Yeah.
Right? Now we've decided to go the other way, right? And inclusion and diversity and integration is our strength, apparently.
Well, you're not integrating. That's the problem.
But unfortunately, whether people like it or not, right? So just some of us in the world, or some people, or some cultures out there that are just not going to be able to be integrated into a moral, just society. It's as simple as that. Right? It's nothing racist. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're all different. Okay? Some of us have different moral standards than others, and different beliefs and different religions and all of that. And it's a dream utopia for us to all live in harmony and blah, 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 blah. Right? But unfortunately, that is not the reality, and it will never happen.
No,
because
it's a pipe dream.
It doesn't matter how hard you try, right? And even if you do try, right, you're always going to have a section of society, no matter who they are, either the natives or the people that you brought in, that are going to be disgruntled over something.
Yeah.
Something is going to offend either side, right? So it's never going to happen, right? Whether you like it or not, that's just the reality. Maybe somewhere down the line, when we're well dead and buried, maybe hundreds of years from now, we can get to a place as a human race where, you know, I look at, in order for that utopian society to happen, you'd have to get rid of all politics, all religion,
yeah,
all the whole belief system, and build them all up again, and maybe leave religion and like the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
Right. If you want that utopian universe,
yeah.
well, then you can't coexist, because they even did it with Star Trek. The Klingons had their religion and stuff like that. Right.
Yeah.
And you see how
the Klingons killed their gods, because they were too much trouble.
Clashed Kalis, right? Yeah. So they clashed with humans because they had different belief system and structures and all of that, right? So even in Star Trek, they were showing you this integration does not work no matter how hard you try, and if you push it, right,
yeah.
or you
that's it.
Or right, if you push it or you do it unnaturally, if you don't let it happen naturally, right, it's never going to work.
You can't force it. It's like evolution.
It has to be natural. The Irish people are the most. Listen, this is where Céad Míle Fáilte came from. We are the country of 100,000 welcomes, right? Because we always help those in need, right? Even when we weren't being helped, when we were in need. Okay? I think people forget that. They try, they seem to forget that we had our issues here, and we still do to this day. And all we're saying is, right now, we've got to look after us for a while because we've neglected their own. As I said, I have no problem anybody coming to Ireland if they work hard, pay their taxes, and contribute to Irish society in a positive way. They're not a nuisance, right? But unfortunately, we have some in Irish society that do not do that, that have come from different countries. And they're the people that we're not allowed to talk about. This is, anytime you do bring it up, it's hate speech, hate speech, hate speech. It's not racist either, right? It's not racist to say that or question where if people are being housed in your community, right? And you question, well, where have they come from? Do you know if these people are safe? That's not racist. That's normal. I even remember, right?
Security.
I'll give you this. Before I got this apartment here that I'm living in, right? I remember I went to see another place, right? Before I got this one. And it was a lovely place. It was around the Aviva Stadium area, is what I'll say, right? So it was lovely, right? It was a lovely area. And I went to be interviewed for that place. But a member of the fucking housing committee was there as well. So a representative of this area was there, right? So the fella in the council is asking me the questions and they're straightforward. But then this one then start asking me personal questions, where I lived beforehand, where did I grow up as a kid, all of that, right? So I was honest. I told him where I was brought up, the area that I was brought up in, went to then where I ended up as a teenager, and I just saw this weird look from this person, right? So then the council then went, they asked a few more questions and blah blah blah, and I was like, brilliant. I says, when will I find out? Well, if you've got accepted, you will get a phone call to collect the keys tomorrow. So I thought, lovely one. So I go back to where I'm staying at the time, because obviously I was in a spot of bother, as I told you all. I've told you my story. And I get the phone call and say, oh, sorry, it hasn't worked out. We're going to give it to someone else. I was like, can I ask why? I says, and it says, who was your one that was asking me all of these questions? Oh, that was the member of the committee. I says, did you have a problem with me? And they go, no, I had no issue with you, but the people that live here, they want a particular person to move in, right? Which I was at first incensed about, right? But then when I thought about it, I kind of got it to a certain extent, but then to give residents that much power. But see, this is what's happening now.
Yeah.
There's people, there's houses being taken, and then they're turning them into to places to hold these people, and then they're either beside schools or creches, most of them, and this is another issue as well. And parents are worried sick, and they're questioning why, where are these people coming from? Why are they here? Why are you placing them beside such an area? And apparently you're racist for calling that out. People, the parents that obviously
security is racist nowadays.
Juno Dawson's books being peddled in Irish schools and libraries. Parents apparently now are homophobic and transphobic and all of this. No, again,
it's a sick book. It's quite a sick book, actually. I've got a copy. It's quite sick.
I've seen. I've literally seen all the pages now of that book.
I got two. I got
shared
the
online,
and the old one, and the original transcript with James Dawson.
Right.
Yeah, it is an indoctrination guide.
Anyway, unfortunately for Doctor Who fans, we got to put up with Mr. Dawson or whatever.
I don't know.
Miss Dawson or whatever the fuck. I don't think there's any place for books like. See, they've reclassified what a young adult is, and that's what I have an issue for. If it was a young adult, then I'd say 16 to 18 is appropriate age, especially for the topic that you're talking about.
Young adult was like 18 plus, wasn't it, years ago?
See, as soon as we started doing sex education in school, right, because that shit started coming out when I was in school. It was never really there beforehand, you know. And then Ireland, because Ireland was, as I said, was still a very Catholic country. It was only when the scandals came out then the church's stranglehold on this country disappeared. But up until then, like, it was a Catholic country, and I remember priests and bishops going on to the Late Show talking about and saying how, you know, sex education shouldn't be taught in school and all this. And, you know, I agree with that, though. I agree. I don't think you should be teaching kids. You know, obviously, when you get into secondary school, that's a different fucking story. You're a little bit older and mature enough to understand the themes that you're talking about. But this whole fascination and wanting to teach kids younger, because everybody now thinks that a baby can tell if they're born in the wrong body, which was an article a few years back, which I absolutely took the piss out of. But it's just all madness. But look at people talking about politics again, but this is what, see how I was able to talk about this seamlessly and it didn't feel out of place, because whether you like it or not, right, your entertainment, right, your music, your religion, right, your government's policies, everything is connected.
Yeah.
Everybody is sending their own certain message. Remember, this is a progressive era. The progressives are in charge. So everything that they do is progressive. So the entertainment industry is progressive. The politics are progressive, right? The laws that they introduce are progressive. The bullshit that they come out with is progressive, right? So it's all connected. There is no disconnect anymore. They're all sending out the same fucking message, right? What's happened here is that governments know now that media will push certain narratives, and the governments will then, you know, fund. Remember, RTE funds a lot of projects. A lot of governments fund TV and movies, by the way.
Yeah.
Canada does it, we do it. You know, actually, if you watch The Animals of Farthing Wood, at the end, they had a big list of the companies that did the product, that basically showed all the different countries before it was the EU, you know, but all the European countries that were watching this show. And so all government funded, like, and all the governments that were funding it, because it was educational back then, and which that was a proper cartoon, by the way. It's still one of my favorites to this day.
Well,
I mean, season 2 is not as great, but it still has its moments. But but it's all connected, folks. Everything is. You can't escape it. You know, so this is why we'll be keeping an eye on Doctor Who, because it'll be interesting to see, is he going to push the trans agenda, the gender ideology in Doctor Who? How far is he willing to go? Because we saw with the Star Beast, you know, some actually in the trans community criticized him because he didn't go far enough, and of course, didn't they give pronouns? Was it pronouns or something? What was it?
Yeah, something. Yeah, what was it again?
Whatever it was. Yeah, something that contradicted being trans, whatever it is, because everything that they do is confusing, right? This is why the world will never this is why the world eventually will cop on, right? Because there's no logic to this bullshit.
Yeah.
But anyway, It's all connected. So, you know, even watch, wait, you see, King Charles, you know, he's forced, it will be his first one, Mount the Christmas speech, the King's speech, right? The president, our president just did a speech there just a while ago talking about inclusivity, diversity. Wait, you
Yeah.
see, King Charles will do the same, right?
Yeah.
Other leaders out there that will have Christmas message for that because they're all reading off the same fucking script.
Yeah, a script that's failing apparently.
Right. So yeah, it is. It's starting to fail, but they're still going to push it because these idiots don't know when they're beaten.
No,
right?
They'll push it even harder.
Yeah, they're pushing it hard, so we need to push back harder. That's the whole point. That's why everybody.
And when they finally lose, they'll start attacking.
If everybody gets out there, right, 2024 is when we can smash all of this.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't, well then you lose everything. We all lose. Right. We all lose. Me in Ireland, you in Canada, Chris, you in the UK, PD, wherever you are in the world, Peter there, all the way from Australia, we'll all lose. All
like
of
Alien
us.
versus Predator, isn't it? Whoever wins, we lose.
Right.
The moment.
So they're weak now, and they know that the game is up. But it's not simply like if people just let the current trend happen, it's just going to go away. Now, this is not one of these things that's going to go away. We've got to push back on it. If you push back on it, then they get completely destroyed. This has to be destroyed completely. You're dealing with pure evil here. That's the way you should look at this movement, the whole lot of this. It's pure evil, right? So you're going to fight against it, right? Because this is the hypocrisy of it all. Remember, there was one time that we fought against racism. We fought against fascists, right? Right, we pushed back. Do you want to be known as the people on this planet that didn't push back and just took it and died off? Or do you want to be like, listen, as I said, people can call me crazy all they want, right? But this is what I believe, right? We've seen throughout human history that human resolve, human strength, human survival, right? There's always been a fight, sacrifice. There's always been a fight. And the human race is being tested with obviously the two big major events that happened on this planet, which would be the two world wars, right? This is our time. This is our test. So, you know, remember, two world wars, millions of people died because they believed in what they were fighting for. I'm not asking people to do that. You don't have to. It's a different fight, but you've got to stand up and be counted. Do whatever you can do. If you can get into local politics in your town, in your wherever you live, and you think you can do it, do it. Upset the apple cart. We need more people out there. Right? And if you can't do that, then get out on the streets. I'm not saying be there for every single one, but get out there, support your people. Support yourself. You're doing it for your future generations of your own family. Even the church is bound down to this. Right? The Roman Catholic Church is bound down to this nonsense.
See, we bowed down ages ago.
Right? Now, Pope Francis is not my Pope. He never was, never will be. My Pope died. And yes, he gets criticised because of the scandals of the church, but I don't blame Pope John Paul II for all of that. My Pope died. And that was my Pope. And he's been the only one that I've ever known. Anyway, well, I know we have Benedict and Francis, but what I'm saying is he was my Pope. Right? When he died, that was it. The other two, as far as I'm concerned, are imposters, and Benedict is just as worse because he just retired. Nothing to do with sickness. It's got to do with the fact that the whole revelations of the Catholic Church were going to come out, and he didn't want to be the one to have to clean it up, so the coward ran off.
Yeah.
And then France's attempt to appease now the leftist mob cancel culture has decided to bow down and give little victories to certain communities out there. And it's fallen for the gender cult. So everything is fallen to this. So, you know, as I said, you either stand up and be counted, or fair enough, live out the rest of your life, blah, 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 won't affect you. But when you're dead and buried, it'll affect future generations of your family. And then, you know, obviously you'd be dead and you won't give a flying fuck because you'd be dead. But could you imagine if one of your ancestors says, well, you know, points back and say, well, maybe they could have done something for us to help us start the fight. So I'm not all doom and gloom, but I don't think people realise how much of a battle you are all in.
It's just about to heat up.
And, you know, for me, my life is worth protecting. My wife's, our way of life, our morals, our belief systems. That's all worth fighting for. And I'll stand up and be counted. And that's the end of it. Because that's what we have to do. So if you can get out there or even be a voice in your community, man, you know, listen to what other people in your community have to say. Do they have the same worries as you? You know, you'd be able to gauge how people feel. I guarantee they feel exactly the same way as you. A lot of people, remember, have been ruled by fear because of the media and government propagandas from all of our governments and all of our media. Right? They've worked on us over the years. Right? They know how to instill fear into the mass populace on this planet, and that's the problem. There's a lot of us that are awake and privy to what they do, you know, so we know and we don't fall for it. But unfortunately, a lot of them out there do, and we still see it today. You know what I mean? So it's far from over. It's far from over.
It's going to be a very interesting year next year, Noel. That's what I think.
It will. I just hope that it doesn't descend into chaos. And what I mean by chaos, I mean by the scenes that we've seen in Dublin and it repeating itself all over Europe. Because that's the route we cannot go down. We need to be, look, we're winning. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
In Ireland, we're winning because I'll tell you what they did last night. They flogged out the head NGO last night in a desperate attempt to get people on side. Listen, they're losing the narrative.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Right? And they've lost the narrative in the UK and other countries as well, right? But the problem with the Irish and the Brits are, right? And we both have this in common, right? And I think you will agree with me on this. Unless it's on their front door, we don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah.
Right? But that attitude has to go now. Because even though it might be on your front door, it's on someone else's front door that lives in your fucking country.
Yeah.
Land that you were born and bred in. And that's the fucking point, folks. We need to get away from this old-fashioned notion that, well, unless it's on my doorstep, then I'm going to do something about it. You know what I mean? Why wait until it's too late? Everybody wants to wait until it's too late. Don't wait until it's too late. You strike before it becomes too late. This is how you win these things. Right? It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So anyway, look, we did go into Doctor Who and then a bit of politics, but as I said, they're all connected. They're all connected. They are, and people need to wise up. Because if you don't, you know, we're all going to be on the chopping block.
Well, look at what's happening. Yeah, but look what's happening now. So we are winning now because you see what's happening to Disney now. Disney's like, oh my god, we think making things woke was wrong, and it's like, well, a bit late for that. And what's happening to Paramount and
that's what I'd say. No matter what side of the argument or what side of the fight that you're fighting on, you know, when I got into the politics side of it, but of course we were doing the entertainment side of it for 5 odd years, right? It doesn't matter what side of the fight you're on. Right? If you're a YouTuber out there and you're constantly calling this shit out, keep calling it out. Just keep calling it on and hammer away at Disney because Disney are on their knees now. So just keep hammering away at Disney. Just keep getting people to do what they've been doing. And every time Disney drops something that's shit, just keep going after it and keep going until they get the message because they have to course correct very soon or they're already in serious trouble. They have to do something. Right, so there is little victories happening, and there's going to be big ones on the way.
Yeah,
but it's still not enough.
Yeah,
right. We've got to listen. We've got to totally annihilate this whole woke culture, right? And what we must do then is we're going to have to pick up the pieces of all the damaged people.
It's going to take 5 years
out there.
That's going to be another 5 years, another hard work for 5 years, and a lot of money to fix.
A lot to fix all our problems, exactly. And on
it's
top
exactly
of that,
this is what the problem with taxation is at the moment. That's what happens. You have to spend 5 years worth of taxation to fix a problem that you could have never caused in the first place because some idiot politician goes in the wrong direction. Oh, yes, that's what annoys me about this culture war, Noel. The big pinnacle of what I hate, absolutely annoys the hell out of me, is that we could not have gone. We could just agree to disagree, gone down, just kept things in the middle, and bland entertainment for a few years, and we wouldn't be in this position.
Will voting for listen, this is what I'd say. I've been kind of watching events in Canada, and of course, because I have a few Canadian friends, they've been telling me what's going on. All I could say about your man is this: the interviews that I've seen with him, and that my favorite one is where he's eating the apple, and your man is calling him all the tropes, and he's trying to, your man's trying to make a fool of him, but he's making a fool of the journalist, right? Can he make a difference? What I would say is by listening to everything that man has to say, I will say this: he seems to have Canada's best interests at heart. Now, can he deliver? Can he make a difference, as you said? I don't know. But the only way you will find out is right. Yeah, this is the option. Do you want to keep Trudeau there, or would you rather bring someone else in and give them a go? Because that's the position that you're in, right? Unfortunately,
even my great uncle doesn't want Trudeau there.
Yeah. So from what I've seen is, if I was to vote between the two of them, if I was Canadian, looking at the interviews that I've seen with Trudeau and listening to this guy, I would have voted for your man, and Trudeau wouldn't even get in. I don't even know how that plonker got elected in the first place, by the way. Because if they're the quality of the interviews that plonker is doing, well then how the fuck did Canadians fucking vote that man? Did they vote me because he's daddy?
Yeah.
Was it because of the name? Did you really think that a Trudeau was going to do something good for you all? Mum, we're all doing that. It's like in Ireland, keep voting for Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael, like two parties that screwed the people over for decades.
It's like Labour and Tories over here.
Never learn. So look, he's better than what you have, is what I'd say. Scottish Stavros says the idiots Dublin City Council blocked you. I saw a great job. Yeah, because I called them out for their festive lights and said it's Christmas. So it's Christmas lights. So apparently saying Christmas is offensive in Ireland now. So I got blocked. So I got blocked. So yeah, this is another reason why I'm thinking of running as well, because I'll sort this lot out. They'll be all out collecting their P45s. I can tell you that now. That's what'll be happening with Dublin City Council. Right? If you can't say Christmas and you can't embrace Irish heritage, then you're not fit for fucking pub. Oh, and if you can't clean their streets, they're bragging about how they've been sending people out to clean their streets with water hoses and all of that. Yeah, you were supposed to be doing that all along. Dublin City, I live in Dublin, right? And Dublin City has been a kip for decades because the Dublin City Council are a bunch of lazy twats, right? And now what you are doing is you are jumping in with all this diversity fucking nonsense now. Oh, festive lights, right? Nothing Irish about it either. That wasn't. Absolutely not. No, couldn't say Christmas either. Fuck off. You can't say Christmas. You're not fit for purpose, right? This is a Catholic country, right? No matter what issue people have with the Catholic Church, Ireland is still a Catholic fucking country, right? And Irish people still will get their kids christened, forced Holy Communion and confirmation, which proves that Ireland is still a fucking Catholic country. Even if parents themselves don't practice the religion, they make sure that their kids make their first Holy Communion, get baptized and all of that. So don't be giving me that bullshit. It's Christmas, right? If you can't say Christmas lights, get the fuck out. So yeah, idiots they are. They blocked me. And Mary Lou MacDonald, the leader of Sinn Féin, blocked me, right? Mary Lou MacDonald, the leader of Sinn Féin, blocked me because I told her a few home truths because she's going about genocide. And I said, and she's talking about bringing in migrants. And I says, all right, so the IRA, had a policy of, killing innocent Brits because you wanted Ireland to be Ireland. But now in 2023, it's like Ireland for everybody. So like so basically what you did was you used the hunger strikers and basically you murdered innocent people because now you go against everything that you stood for. And she kind of didn't like that, and I was blocked. So yeah, that's the level. And by the way, she's hoping to actually be in the next government. Yeah, that ain't happening, you little fucking traitor. Right, and anyway, I never agreed with Brits being murdered. Right, the IRA at that time did not represent. I could probably say the majority of Irish people. Right, is what disgusting. All right, and now to come out with all the things, you know what? You don't just spit on the graves of all the Irish people that died and the people that you used. You spit on the graves of those poor British people that never went fucking home to their loved ones and their loved ones. That's who you fucking spit on now. You bunch of fucking more traitors. They're worse, by the way, than Fianna Fáil Fine Gael because we expect them to fucking screw us over. But Sinn Féin, yeah, they were supposed to be the party that was supposed to represent the Republic. Well, they can go and kiss me fucking arse.
Well, they represent the US Democrats now.
Right.
Where they got their money from?
Money talks.
We know
money talks. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think of, the Northern Ireland government is always the same, though. Yeah, but look, unification has to happen.
Eventually, yeah.
It has to happen. Listen, it has to. At the end of the day, I'd say, well, I can't really speak, but I say the majority. But, I'd say if you ask most people up there, except obviously if you go into the real heavy loyalist areas, obviously you wouldn't go there still. But I say, the majority of people in Northern Ireland, I don't think they would be against unification.
Oh, no.
I think most of them anyway would consider themselves Irish.
I would love to see reunification in Ireland.
I would, because I think it'd make this country stronger. I think in the long run, it'd make you stronger, because then you would have Scotland. You would only have to, look after Scotland and Wales. Then they could be looked after a little bit better. Maybe then Scotland would want to fucking break away. But if current trend keeps going, I could see the UK being United Kingdom being broken up, and I don't know. I say the majority of the population, though, no matter what Welsh people say and Scottish people say, I think there's a lot of people in Scotland and Wales that see the benefits of a union. But
Yeah.
I think Ireland itself would be a stronger country if it was reunified.
Yeah.
And then we could have one national football team as
Yeah.
well and give everybody. No, but I'm not just saying it for the football, but I'm saying sport brings people together anyway. But it
Yeah.
would be nice to see an All Ireland team like the rugby team represent the whole of Ireland,
Yeah.
right? This island as one team. It's what I've always wanted as well. Even in the days of Ireland playing Northern Ireland, I used to say, could you imagine if the Republic of Ireland team of the 90s, the late 80s and 90s, and the Northern Ireland team, they had some good players. Could you imagine if that team had been unified?
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ, we got to a quarterfinals. We did, right? We got to a quarterfinals. I'm telling you now, we would be surely stronger as a footballing nation in this country. And then on top of that, right, we'd be a stronger country economically.
Oh yeah.
Right? The 6 counties would add benefit to us all.
Yeah.
And the Irish people, no matter what they say, I don't care if you feel like a British person to me, right? If you're born on this land, as far as I'm concerned, you're Irish, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. Should be proud of that, you know. But I know it's different in the north of Ireland. I know the history. I've been up there a few times. I've been places where I shouldn't have been either, and I was lucky to get out alive, let's just fucking say, back in the day, right?
Yeah.
But I fucking love up there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fucking land. Beautiful, man. Yeah, and it's such a shame, you know,
Yeah.
politics. But these are the politicians, for fuck's sake, man.
I know.
They screw us over every fucking time.
Yeah.
Right? But again, I'm living in a fucking cuckoo land because, you know,
we all are, mate. We all are.
it's not, we're not going to get utopia. We never will, no matter how hard these fuckers strive for it. Because their utopia will be grand, but it'll be hell for us.
Yeah.
Right? And utopia should be for everybody.
Exactly. It's like the old Lordy
everybody's
song, "My heaven is your hell." Yep. That's what I always say when people start talking about how great things would be if we were all progressive. And I'm like, yeah, you go listen to the song from my Lordy, "My heaven is your hell," and you'll see exactly what's going to happen.
As I said, man, we're all one human race, no matter where we're from. Unfortunately, this experiment on trying to integrate us all is not going to work, and and has failed in some European countries. And if you look at America, America is the perfect example. The United States is the perfect example. They tried to integrate over there for the past 70, 80 years. It hasn't worked. Would you say America is a better country now than it was back in the 50s? 60s?
In some parts, yes.
I will say, okay, yeah, I know
very
you were
50-50 about that one.
The civil rights thing and all that. Yeah, I agree. That was racism is bad. But what I'm trying to say,
I think it was good in the 90s. I think it was good in the 90s in America.
I think the 80s more so.
Yeah.
Because 90s, 80s things did get commercial, but 90s they kind of doubled down and everything felt cold then in the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
The mid 90s was fine. It was late 90s then.
Yeah, mid 90s, yeah. Kind of mid 80s to mid 90s. I think they had it right.
But this is the thing, cultures clash is my point that I'm trying to make. And America is such a diverse country anyway. And it just hasn't worked. That's why they have so many problems over there.
Yeah.
Because one group is fighting over another group to be heard. Right? And then when that group is heard, then the other group then feels it feels like they've been slated. So they want to be heard. You never get it creates a vacuum.
Yeah, in the long run,
social vacuum, and it's look, as I said, in the perfect utopian world, hallelujah.
Yeah.
But we're not living in a perfect utopian world right
now.
and there are dark and evil forces too, working behind the scenes to divide us all, right? Okay, if you're far right, you're against migration, apparently, immigration, whatever, right? You don't want to help refugees, apparently. Listen, that's false narrative. Help anybody that actually needs help.
You
People
can't
we
put the
don't want to help
refugees before the security of
is
the
the
country. That's my
freeloaders,
attitude.
the ones
Yeah.
that actually don't contribute to society.
Yeah.
Australia, Australia gets a lot of stick, and I do think, the border control policies are way over top, but they have a system that kind of works to a certain extent. You're always going to get leaks. Like, it's like a fishing net. You'll always get some fish that will seep through the net. That will happen. But it does stop the majority. That's the point, right? We need a similar system here in Australia, but not as stringent. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'd only want people coming here if they're working, right? But then you see that we rely on tourism, and on countries like Ireland's very hard. And this is another reason for reunification as well. See, UK, yes, might have their policies on immigration now, right? Whatever, right? But some are getting into Northern Ireland and they're coming down through the Republic. Now, we don't want the situation where the country is divided again. So the only way we can protect the whole of the country is by unification.
Yeah.
Because once we have unification, then Ireland is a whole island, and then we can obviously protect their borders then and all of their entry points, right? But if you have another government in charge of the Northern Ireland, obviously then, we've seen that there are governments out there like the French turn a blind eye to people leave because it gets them out of their country, right? And flood them in to Northern Ireland and down into the Republic. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. We've had a nice
when it comes to immigration, no, I'm going to say the same thing that Deckard said in Blade Runner about the replicants. Replicants are like any other machine. They're either a benefit or a hazard. If they're a benefit, they're not my problem. That's how I feel about immigration. It's the best way of putting it. That's it.
I agree.
Feel the same way.
I agree, and that's the way it should be. But if you were to listen to the media, then we're against anybody over even people that work, and that's fucking a false narrative, and it's a fucking shame on them, because what it does then create is the fear within those communities then, and they're thinking that all Irish people are racist, or all people from England are racist, or Scotland or Wales are racist, and that's not the fucking case at all, right? It's a false narrative, but that's what media do, and that's what government do. They divide to conquer. Remember, divide and conquer? This is what they're fucking doing. Wake up, everybody. People used to think I was stupid. Oh, Noel just talks about Doctor Who show. Doctor Who. He doesn't know anything else about anything. Listen, as I said, if I was in a room full of these lefties, I'd be the most intelligent person in the room.
Yeah.
I actually am. So, I've been wired in since the late 80s, folks.
Yeah.
Right. Late 80s. Seriously. 10 years of age. 89. I remember the first thing I saw. I even remember, right? I remember the rabbit hole I went down, and it led me to all different sorts of stuff. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Because back then, people were writing articles, people were writing books, people were telling their stories. Social media kind of diluted it all. And then we got people actually making up terrible stuff and trying to justify a conspiracy theory. And that's what ruined. Do you know what? For me, that's what ruined it for me as a conspiracy theorist, right?
Yeah.
Or someone that loved conspiracy theorists, was the age of social media.
Yeah.
Because those early pioneers, those guys that put out the UFO videos, they were clearly doctoring those videos. But because we weren't up with the technology like they were, we couldn't tell the difference. Now, a lot of the old videos that I watched back then, right, completely fucking fake. But I kind of knew at the time. It was so far-fetched, and I was reading the comments. I was like, this has to be fake, right?
Yeah.
And they turn out to be fake, right? It's just, oh my God, seriously, man. My eyes were open at 10 years of age. 10. And I'm telling you, I've 30 odd years later, let's just say, and listen, all of this shit I already knew was happening. Listen, sequel to COVID hasn't even happened yet. People think it already happened with that other strain that came out. Oh no, the sequel to COVID hasn't even happened yet. But the sequel to COVID is coming. And the sequel to COVID will be completely different, but it will finish off the job that COVID didn't manage to do. So that's why you need to get out there and fight. Fight for your own lives as well. Fight for future generations. Rabbi Holnall, what have you been up to? I said rabbit hole, rabbit, Peter.
Yeah.
The Irish accent, Peter. Sorry, Peter's from Australia. So, yeah, crikey.
Don't dox him. There's a bit thingy there at the moment. Don't dox him, mate.
So, we like our Peter, we do. Peter's been supporting the channel for a few years now. He has, and he's been popping in and out now recently. He's obviously just be very busy looking after his mum, and he's dealing with some stuff over there. But we'll say no more because that's his business. But he is a great supporter of the channel and a good friend. So it's always nice to see him in the chat there. But we're gonna wrap it up there. I didn't plan on actually going 2 hours, but you know what? Because I've got Christmas stuff to do now, late night Christmas stuff. So be flying off shortly. So what we'll do is, they faked UFO. I know, but they were very clever back then because we weren't up on the technology. But now we can even do that on their mobile. We can do that on their mobile phones now.
Yeah.
You know,
I did it at art college. I did a fake UFO photo at art college. It's quite easy when you know how.
It's easy now, So it's like, you know, but I knew they were fake at the time. Loads of no, it's real. It's not, man. It's not. It's fucking fake. It's fake, man. It's fake. Listen, I know more about this topic than you do.
Paper and tissue paper, and just like a nice picture of the sky. Yeah.
And now we've got this new conspiracy. I mean, look, I know there's always been a conspiracy theory about the moon, right?
Yeah.
And at one point I did believe, at one point I did believe we never went to the moon, but it's actual fact that we went to the moon.
Yeah, we did go there.
We went to the moon. I'm sorry.
No, why did we not go back to the moon after?
But it's not because of the Van Allen radiation belts that they're telling you. Listen, we did not go back to the moon for a reason, right? And it wasn't just to do with funding, right? We didn't go back to the moon because they were warned to stay away from the moon. I firmly believe that that's exactly what happened.
I believe you too, mate. I think there's something going on that moon.
Apparently, for people that watched the original footage that was shot by NASA in 1969, it cut out for about 30 seconds or something.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Oh, don't stop, Chris.
Now, there is a conspiracy theory and a rumor, and this rumor has been heavily talked about for years. But of course, because it's just a conversation and we can't prove it either way. But what was supposed to happen, right? Do you know the way, again, Stephen Moffat did the whole silence thing with the moon landing and then the monks came along? Do you remember the monks then were the ones that were responsible for getting us to the moon and all of that? Well, something similar here happened, but it wasn't aliens that helped us get to the moon. We actually got there by ourselves. But apparently, when Neil Armstrong and co landed on the moon, they actually had a watch party.
Yeah.
So apparently, if the rumor is true, when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, during those 30 seconds blackout, he was informing NASA that there were basically extraterrestrials watching the historic moon landing. Now, of course, because it's just a conversation and we don't know if there's actually a recording of it, I'm pretty sure if there is, NASA have it buried. But sometimes they slip up and they let things out. But I doubt they'd let this out. But if that conversation did happen, then they've known about UFOs since Roswell, and it's just a fact that everything that was talked about there was real. And as an only recently a former scientific advisor or someone that worked in NASA come out and actually said that we've been in communique with extraterrestrials for the past few decades. And some of the stuff that's happening here is in conjunction with these beings, apparently. By the way, ask yourselves why certain world leaders, the Pope and the Orthodox priest or the high priest, whatever he was, from Russia, why did they go to Antarctica a few years back? John Kerry also went there. Why did they go into the middle of nowhere? Why did Pope Francis go there? Right? If you all remember the story of what was his name? Your man that went to to explore Antarctica. Your man Board, General, whatever his fucking name is, Board, whatever. And he went, and then he came back hastily. And he started talking about stuff and shit like that. They found something up there. I'm telling you now, people don't believe this, right? You always have to ask the question: why is nobody allowed to claim that land? And why is it that if you do take a journey there, the plane only takes a certain flight, or the ships only go a certain route? They don't deviate ever. And why is it as well? If you actually look at the flights, you could see live of all the air routes of all the flights. Check over Antarctica and look at the air routes, right? None of them go through it. They go around it. They avoid a certain part of it. They're not allowed. I honestly believe, listen, it's not an alien thing, but I honestly believe that they have found something under that shield of ice.
Yeah. It's like I always wonder about Antarctica.
Whatever it is, they don't want us to find out for whatever reason it is. But there's always been, look at people like Jules Verne, always wrote books like that. There's always been this talk of another civilization actually on this planet, but living beneath our feet, basically.
Yeah, Silurians.
So
that always puzzles me about Antarctica. Apparently, the snow is just there. It's not being created there. It's just there because it's like an ancient desert. It's just turned into a snow desert. So if the snow's just there, why don't we just move it and build stuff there?
I don't know.
It's what I always found bizarre because we got a bit. The British, us British, have got a massive piece of territory there.
Yeah.
British Antarctic territory is huge. Why are we wasting letting this land just stay there? It's weird. So
I don't know, man. There's dodgy stuff. There's dodgy stuff going on up there. I mean, there's hours of camera footage as well showing the sun, and the sun should be in a certain position, but it's not. I mean, I do think the scientists are lying to us about certain things, but this whole thing that the Earth is flat. Listen, at one stage I kind of was into that and a big deal. So Cheryl used to slag me off about it. She'll tell you, she used to give me some stuff. But look, that was debunked only a few years back, and it's irrefutable proof that the Earth is indeed a fucking sphere. Now, it mightn't be a perfect sphere, but it is a fucking sphere.
It's slightly pear-shaped.
Right. So it is a sphere. End the fucking story. Like, it's not. We're not living on a flat fucking Earth, but there are inconsistencies. There is with some of the stuff that's going on, and they need to fucking explain it. And I don't think they can themselves, because remember, you know, scientists are still learning about shit. I do think they've messed with stuff. You know, they've been messing with atoms and all of this bollocks, and they've got so they've fucked us up somewhere, and so they've done something. Maybe they're all responsible for everybody going loopy overnight.
Yeah, maybe it's CERN. So did that CERN?
Yeah, because I remember just waking up and everybody was a lefty twat. It just happened overnight, like. So
Yeah.
I went to bed. CERN obviously didn't affect me. Maybe it was because I was drinking alcohol or something, and it didn't affect me, but affected everybody. That's why, yeah, that's what it is. That's why most of us are far right in Ireland, because we were all drinking when they did their thing,
Yeah.
right? And everybody else that was teetotal fucking ended up a lefty. That would explain everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, flat Earth, the ancient Greek worked out the Antarctic curve and Earth. Yeah, it's a few scientists did throughout the years as well. It is. Look, it is. It is a sphere. Why? But see, this is the thing that doesn't help. NASA and other space agencies are hiding shit from us that's happening in space, and I think that's where all the conspiracy theories are born from. Because even the moon landing photos, yes, there are crosshairs out of sync that shouldn't be out of sync. They should be all in line, right? But there's a reasonable explanation to that. Is they have doctored the photographs. So what have they actually taken out of the photographs that they don't want us to see? Right?
Yeah.
That's what people should be questioning. We landed on the moon, but what are they hiding? Right? I bet you they took photographs. I know what happened. Neil Armstrong went up there with Buzz, right? Okay, they landed on the moon. The aliens were waiting for them. And you know what happened? They had a fucking chat, right? They had a convo, right? And that's the thing. That's why we don't they fucking doctored all the photographs, because there they are, they're having a Bud Light with fucking some extraterrestrial. You know,
Yeah.
They fucking edited the photographs, because remember when they edited the photographs back then, it wouldn't have been as great as they do it now. If NASA was to take a photograph now, right, they could put out a fake image and make it. Well, they do it all the time, actually. Well, they're not fake images, but what they do is they get images from the Hubble and then that new telescope, and then what they do is they get thousands of images and data together to compose an image, right? So it can translate into an image. So they have all of that technology. You could do it now. They could do it now, but back then in the 60s, you know, going into 70s, that wouldn't have been top notch. So that's why there are discrepancies in the photographs. I do believe we did. Listen, yeah, there's no person out there. Come on, we cannot be it in this universe. If we are, I feel sorry for this universe. I honestly fucking do. If we're it,
alien,
we're it. In the whole of the universe, we're it. If we're capable of life coming together because of the Big Bang Theory, right? Then what's to stop other life from developing in other galaxies out there, or even in our own? Remember, we don't have the technology right now to do what they did in Star Trek and the Orville, and you know, have warp capability and ships to explore, right? We just can't do that, right? The best we can do is rockets and the shuttle, which unfortunately a couple of times didn't, because of their own negligence. NASA, because we were idiots.
Faulty O-rings,
right? None of those astronauts.
Damage on launch.
None of those astronauts had to fucking die, right? That was NASA incompetence, and actually, I believe it was arrogance.
Yeah, that's NASA's biggest problem.
But think about it. They were more advanced in the 60s than they were with the shuttle space program, because with the shuttle space program, they actually went backwards, right? Because they sent Apollo to the moon, but obviously the shuttle, it only went up so far up above the Earth, before it encountered radiation, right? So it didn't go any further than Earth's orbit, basically. So we went backwards. And again, you got to ask yourselves why. What happened? Because that's the space program. They always blame funding. right? And it may have been justified in the late 70s or the mid 70s, going into the 80s, because everybody was broke. But to completely stop, and then to not mention the moon, to basically not mention the moon again, really, and then just start on all other stuff, you've got to question why. I do believe something happened on the moon. People can call me a mad conspiracy theorist all they want, I don't care, right? There's a reason why we didn't go back to the moon, and it's not just about money, right? And that's the end of it. And we can't be in the universe, because if we are, then this universe was done a fucking injustice, to be quite honest with you. Right? Now we still have the capacity to become a great human race. That obviously won't happen in our time. But eventually we might get to that utopian, and then maybe then, you know, hopefully technology advances and humans can get out there and explore the universe. Because we are curious people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would actually say? Yeah. Do you know what we haven't explored? Most of our fucking planet. What body of our planet have we not explored most of?
The ocean.
Exactly. That's what you could do. There's loads of ocean, right?
Yeah.
That you could explore, right? There's
underwater
loads of things on this planet that are still unknown.
Yeah.
Now,
that's what
I only believe that we should go back to the moon if we're going to start building the moon base.
Yeah.
Because then, you know, hopefully then they can develop something out there on the moon. You know, maybe fly parts to the moon, all of that, assemble them on the fucking moon, and then if they want to launch from the fucking moon, then it'd be cheaper in the fucking long run. But we should have always built it. People laughed at Reagan and other presidents that said we should build a moon base. They were absolutely right. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? If you want to further fucking science, why fucking not? Obviously, they'd have to figure out the whole gravity sitch there, which would be interesting to fucking see, because they don't even know what gravity is.
Yeah, Mavity.
No, it's Mavity now, yes.
It's Mavity, yeah, it's Mavity.
Gravity. Anyway. No, they never sent monkeys to the moon.
Just into space.
Just into space. And dogs as well. The USSR.
Yeah, Russians sent dogs, America sent a monkey.
Dogs. Yeah. And the US sent monkeys. Yeah. Of course, you know, while we'd say now that was cruel, you could kind of understand that back in those days, because they didn't want to put humans in danger. But then at the same time, I was thinking, because I'm a dog lover, well, if you're willing to put dogs in harm's way, but then you should put yourself in harm's way. I don't like the idea of using animals. And that's why the latest experiment that NASA did with their spacecraft, it was unmanned. So they didn't, you know, it was remotely done. So they didn't have to use any animals or anything. They had sensors on board to analyze the Van Allen radiation belt and stuff like that. So they could, because their plan is to go back to the moon. It was supposed to happen this year, 2023, but with every administration, it keeps getting pushed back. So I think they said their goal was for 2024 to do the first manned mission, but not to land on the moon, but just to go around and come back.
Make sure the capsule works,
and then obviously make sure everything works, everything is perfect. And then obviously then a year or two later, then would be the big, and then we'd have our own moon landing, you know. And with modern technology as well, they won't look. They'll do it this time. They'll do it, and I do believe they did do it back then. What they did was a feat in engineering, and they shouldn't have been able to do it, but they did. And that's what I'm saying. If you look at how intelligent they all were back in the 50s and the 60s, and you look at us all now, how did we stagnate as a human race and actually go backwards in intelligence? Because that's what's happened.
Yeah.
We've become stupider as the decades have went on, not smarter. So anyway, I'll leave it there. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that stream. It's been something different than usual. We did cover RTD at the very start, then we went into a bit of politics, and now we went into conspiracy theories and space. So I hope you have enjoyed that. So I've got the Man United match tomorrow. Now it'll depend because I've actually to go out now and do Christmas shopping. So I don't know if I'm actually going to be doing that live, but if I am, that's an early afternoon kickoff. Join me for that. If not, see me on Sunday for the Classic Who's on here, where we'll be doing the next two parts of Enlightenment, Peter Davison's story. We have to finish that, and then as for next week, we'll just go by word of mouth. So whoever is available, basically, and all of that, because that'll be Christmas week. Well, you might as well say it is Christmas week, but that'll be closer now to Christmas Day. So actually, I think Monday is Christmas Day. I don't know when Christmas Day is. I've lost all sense of reality.
Yeah, it's Monday.
It is Monday. So look, I will be live Christmas Day for the Christmas special. So come and join me if there are people available that want to come on after all the madness of Christmas Day. Then they'll be with me. If not, it'll just be myself. And then we'll probably do the panel the day after, just to give everybody a chance to recover from Christmas. And then we'll do a review panel. So we'll just play it by ear for now, guys. I'll let you know as we go on. But I want to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and PD is going to do the shout outs and subscribe to everybody that he mentions.
Yeah, okay. As well. Just want to say thanks to Yellow Flash for the comment about the Disney passing notes to Russell T Davis. I'll give him a link for that, as we always do. You know, if someone comes up with a good lead for us, we'll give him credit for it. So there's Yellow's Trash's second channel. Go subscribe to my good friend Rabbi from Another Planet. He can certainly do you over there at the moment. He's gonna do a pre-show and an after show of the Doctor Who. So he'll give you his. He's a very good guy to go by. I'll tell you exactly what he thinks of it. But try and be over here. Do try and be over here for that one. A good friend. Oh God, go to the top. B. It's on the B. Good friend Bowles Trek. He's doing well now. His channel's been re-established. He put one out yesterday.
Yeah, he did indeed.
Yeah, I made a comment on it. I can't remember what it was about, but made a comment on it. Good friend.
Gobster.
Yeah, Gobster. Cinnamon. Sorry, I always miss Cinnamon, don't I? God, I thought I was with Cinnamon before Daniel. Yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yeah, he's good friend Brandon.
And Problem B.
Yep, Cinnamon. Coming down to D. Oh God, I'm not prepared tonight. No, I'm not prepared tonight. Good friend Jack, drawing Jack Rabbit. He could do with it. He's done it, and still in the boxing was his last video, which made me laugh. And our good friend Gobby and Problem Being, like the Gobster. There we go, Gobsters. And I'll get Probbies in, and we're kind of done. If I missed anyone, sorry. My mind's on other things tonight. And Probbies, yeah.
Right, I'm going to leave it there because the computer is about to go dead.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the fucking sofa. I couldn't sit on that bleeding fucking white chair again.
Yeah.
Sitting on that bleeding thing too. I have to get a new fucking chair now when I do the sitting room up.
Yeah.
Because we're changing it around again because we're not happy with the way it looks, as you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, going to leave it there, folks. I want to thank you all. PD, I want to thank you because
no worries.
But again, as I said, we will have that little convo, as we said, behind the scenes before New Year's Eve. Get you all together, as I said.
Yeah.
Daniel's
Just
up
don't
for
do it on the 28th. I'm busy on the 28th.
No, don't worry. We'll do it on a day that everybody is not busy. Trust me, we'll have a
Maybe it's
conversation.
private. I might turn my camera on.
Yeah, that's it. It will be. It will be. That's what I said. It won't be going live. It's just a conversation to catch up with all the guys that have been on the channel and just have a bit of a chat, not about the stuff that we talk about, but just have a little chat with each other and see how everybody is getting on and all of that. That's what we always do. And I'll be back here Christmas Day. And of course, if I'm not doing that on Christmas Eve, which I don't think, I'll be on again, as I always do. It's become a bit of a ritual. And we'll be on New Year's Eve as well. So I'll leave it there. I'll say good night to PD. I'll say good night to everybody in the chat as well for contributing. I will talk to you all very, very soon. Of course, if you follow me on the Man United channel, there may be a stream on there tomorrow, so have a look out for that. And then I'll see the rest of you on Sunday. Have a good one, folks. I hope you've enjoyed these streams over the Christmas period, because I certainly have. And don't forget Christmas Eve as well. We will be doing National Lampoon's Christmas. Or did I say Christmas Day? I think I said Christmas Day. I will figure it out. Anyway, squeeze it in somewhere. I needed to take the night off. I was feeling a bit, I had a bit of energy, but then I don't know what it was. I just felt a bit drained. Then at the end, I said, I'll probably need that extra day, so I took it. Anyway, good night, folks. Here's the intro or outro, whatever you want to call it. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.